If sleep was a supplement, there would be queues out of the door outside of your local vitamin shop and Holland & Barrett. Seriously. Imagine a pill that burns fat whilst you rest, that builds muscle without actually lifting a weight, that regulates your hunger hormones, that boosts your immune system, that improves your mental health, and sharpens your focus and your decision making. You'd genuinely pay hundreds for it, wouldn't you? Well, it exists, it's free, and most of us really neglect it and don't get enough of it. I'm Josh, and I'm an online fitness coach that specialises in working with shift workers. I've worked with over 250 shift workers in the last 12 months alone. Today, we're going to be deep diving into sleep, how to get better quality sleep, things to improve your sleep, and why it's so important when it comes to fitness. A quick bit of background about me. I am a former police officer. I worked in the police for almost 6 years. I'm actually a former England police rugby player as well. I went from 17 stone 7 down to 84 kilos inside 12 months. And like I said, I've now helped over 250 shift workers drop a combined 2,000 kilos or 4,500 pounds for you Americans through my coaching programs. But here's the thing, my own transformation didn't happen until I understood how important sleep is for my fitness. And now, still being married to a police sergeant, I still live and breathe this thing every single day. And I see daily how sleep deprivation has an impact on your mood, your fitness, and just your overall well-being. Today we're going to be covering what actually happens when you go to sleep and why it's so important for fitness, the unique nightmare that shift work creates for your sleep, and practical strategies that you can actually implement today. So let's get into it. What actually happens when you sleep? And no, it's not like when you turn the telly off, you just go on standby. Things do still happen. Your body runs on a complex restoration and optimization process that happens every 60 to 90 minutes. So we probably achieve 4 of these cycles every single night. Stages 1 and 2 of your sleep are what we call light sleep. Your heart rate drops, your core body temperature drops, and your brain starts processing the day's events. This is normally the prep work. Stage 3 is your deep sleep. This is what we call slow wave sleep. This is where the magic happens for fitness. Your growth hormone is released, so that allows for muscle growth and fat loss. Your immune system starts to get strengthened, tissue repair and muscle recovery rapidly accelerate, and your brain clears out any metabolic waste. And then the one you've probably all heard of, REM sleep. This is called rapid eye movement. This is for your brain. This is when we consolidate our memory, take on all of the information that we've actually received during the day, and this is where we actually do a lot of our learning. This is why you feel a lot sharper when you've had a good night's sleep. So let me give you the facts when it comes to the fitness connection. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology monitored 2 groups. One slept 5.5 hours a night, one slept 8.5 hours a night. Those who slept 5.5 hours resulted in 60%, yes, 60% less muscle growth than those who slept for a full 8.5. It's the same for fat loss. Despite identical training and nutrition strategies, 60% for both fat loss and muscle building. That shows the importance of sleep. That same study showed that those who slept 5.5 hours actually lost more muscle during the night and less fat, which is the complete opposite of what we want for when we're building our fitness levels. Your poor sleep also increases your hunger hormone. This is called ghrelin. And it decreases leptin, which is our satiety hormone. It increases ghrelin and decreases leptin by up to 15%. That's why when you're sleep deprived, you often crave junk food. You're literally just fighting against your own biology when you don't get good quality sleep. When it comes to testosterone, 1 week of 5.5 hours sleep reduced testosterone by 20 to 30% in young men. We are killing our T by not sleeping properly. That means your muscle building, your fat burning, are all taking a hit when you're sleep deprived. And let's not forget insulin sensitivity. Sleep deprivation makes you more insulin resistant. That basically means that we struggle to regulate our carbohydrate intake, often meaning we store those carbs as visible fat around our midsection. And here's what I tell people, you can't out-train and out-eat poor sleep. You need to fix it ASAP. And that's what we're going to cover next. Now, if you work shifts, i.e. you work in the emergency services, the police, NHS, or just any sort of shift work, everything that I've just mentioned, take that, add it on steroids. you are exponentially worse off than anybody who's sleep deprived. Your body has an internal 24-hour clock. This is what we call the circadian rhythm. This is controlled by light exposure hitting your eyes. When it's dark, your body produces melatonin, which makes you sleepy. And when it's light, it spikes your cortisol, which keeps you awake. Shift work doesn't just disrupt this, it completely shatters it. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, yes, cancer, classified shift work as a possible carcinogen due to circadian disruption. That's how serious sleep deprivation can be. Shift workers also have a 29% higher risk of obesity compared to day shift workers, not because they're lazy or they're less disciplined, because their hormonal environment is just working against them when they work shifts. Even when shift workers do get sleep, often they get 1 to 4 hours less compared to day shift workers, but the sleep that they do actually get is often of poorer quality. Less deep sleep means it's more fragmented. And then let's not forget the cortisol problem. When you're trying to sleep during the day, your cortisol should be low because you're going to bed, but sunlight keeps it up. Cortisol breaks down muscle tissue and promotes fat storage. And then shift work, let's be honest. When it gets to 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to be able to get your hands on chicken and rice, which would be perfect for you if you're trying to lose weight or build some muscle. The things that are accessible to you are fast food restaurants, a petrol garage, or a vending machine. All of these free places aren't really filled with nutritious options that you can eat. They're often filled with calorie-dense options that just cause havoc for your body. Your hunger hormones are already dysregulated during the night, but all of this junk food on top of that just compounds it. Listen, I get it. I've lived this. Working as a police officer for almost 6 years, I was constantly getting fast food on night shifts, but having access to the vending machine, strolling up the stairs whilst getting out of breath, trying to look for my next meal. And I'd finish a night shift, still be absolutely starving, get home, eat whatever I could as quick as I could, and then go to sleep, only for next door to start mowing their garden and waking me up again. It was an absolute nightmare. I'd often wake up 4 to 5 hours later feeling like I'd been hit by a bus. I thought I needed more discipline at the time, but it turns out I was just fighting human biology. So how can we actually fix it? From somebody who has dropped over 25 kilos, got into the shape of their lives, still whilst working shifts. For everybody, we want to be protecting our sleep, aiming for 7 to 9 hours a night of good quality sleep. You want to treat it like a training session, a hair appointment, a nail appointment. Make it a non-negotiable. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every night. Try and be as consistent as you possibly can with your body. Number 2, create a sleep environment that is perfect for you. 16 to 19 degrees in your room is the perfect optimum temperature for sleep. Using blackout blinds or an eye mask will also improve your sleep tenfold. And then if it's noisy outside, using earplugs or white noise should alleviate some of that noise. Number 3, you want to limit your blue light exposure 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. No screen time, shut your phone away, making sure that you actually get good quality sleep. And that starts by coming off your phone earlier in the night. Or if you're desperate to use your phone, using a blue light filter, blue light glasses are a good one. Blue light suppresses melatonin, which tells your body to be sleepy. Number 4, watch your caffeine window. Listen, I drink these all the time, but you want to be limiting them to before 4 to 5 hours before you go to bed. You want to cut it off. Caffeine is what keeps you awake, it spikes your cortisol and keeps you riding that spike through the night. Hence why if you have a drink too close to bedtime, you will feel like you slept poorly. The half-life of caffeine is 5 to 6 hours. If you're a shift worker, I know you thrive on it, but you're doing yourself a disservice by having it close to bedtime. Swap for a decaf coffee and you'll be fine. And then for shift workers, the things that changed for me when I really started to see a result with my body was doing things like strategic napping, having 2 20 to 30 minute naps after a night shift, so that although I was tired during the day, I was getting myself back into a rhythm quicker. Number 2, light management. I drive home in sunglasses. Yeah, it might be dark outside, but if the sun's starting to come up, that light's getting into your eyes, that's suppressing the melatonin and spiking your cortisol again. Wearing sunglasses prevents that, allowing you to, when you get home, be able to get to sleep quicker and easier. I also installed blackout blinds, or if I didn't have them, say I was staying at my missus at the time, then I'd be wearing an eye mask. Trying to keep that blue light out of your eyes as much as you possibly can. Number 3, being as consistent as possible, even during the chaos of shift work. On earlies, I went to bed at the same time. At lates, I went to bed at the same time. At nights, I went to bed at the same time. I'd then wake up at the same time as well. Trying to get your body into a routine allows your body to have some sort of structure amongst that chaos. Number 4, nutrition timing. Trying to eat the meals at the same time or relatively similar times each and every day. If it meant having your dinner at, say, 9 o'clock in the evening, giving yourself a couple of hours before going to bed, that's absolutely fine. Likewise, if you have to bring your dinner forward, i.e. on an early turn, saying having dinner at 6 o'clock, every single week on earlies, I would have dinner at 6 o'clock. That way your body's able to process it, your body gets into a routine. Even if you are working on a 10-day pattern, that 10-day pattern, being as consistent as you possibly can over that time, your body will get used to that over time, and it makes the fat burning process and the muscle building process far, far easier. Number 5, actually having a community and being understanding. I work shifts, my partner still does work shifts, she's on shift now, but being understanding that the sleep is so important that sometimes you actually have to sacrifice time with your loved ones so that they can get quality sleep, so that they're not struggling later in life. Shift work already takes 15 years off your life. I don't want to take any more from her just because we want to spend a little bit of quality time. I'd rather 15 more years with her later down the line to sacrifice a little bit of quality time now. But let's be honest, will shift work ever be optimal for sleep? Absolutely not. But starting to implement these strategies will set you up for success and get that needle moving quicker than not implementing them at all. I've worked with over 200 shift workers and helped them transform their body, their energy and their confidence levels by implementing some of these tactics, giving them nutritional advice and providing them with a training plan that actually fits around their lifestyle. Sleep is the foundation. It's not motivation, it's not willpower. If you're working shifts and you're struggling with fat loss, muscle building, you feel like your energy is constantly shot and you don't recognize the person in the mirror, it's totally normal, but it doesn't have to be that way. You're not broken, your environment is. If this resonated with you and you're a shift worker or somebody who's time poor and you want to get a result without having to give up chocolate, ice cream, alcohol, or spending your life in the gym, this is my bread and butter. This is exactly what I do every single week. Subscribe to my channel. This is where I show up. I give away free advice that my paying clients pay me for every single week on Instagram and YouTube. And if you want my Protecting Your Sleep document, comment the word sleep. For all coaching inquiries, complete the pre-application form that's in my bio or in the description below. Make sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and hopefully you've taken some nuggets from this to improve your sleep. Let me know what ones you've implemented and let's get this one cracking.